Yeah,
Okay.
I guess everybody decided on black t-shirt today.
Oh, that's
Just going
awesome.
around.
Some unity, finally. Okay, great. So yeah, let's get started here. Logan. So just guys, remember, just the best presentations are very like succinct and to the point. And then you have as LPs, you have maybe 2 3 minutes to ask any questions that you want for clarification to make the right investment decision. I won't be asking any questions because I'm not an LP and I want to mimic what a demo day, pitch day would look like. I'm just kind of like the referee or the host, if you will. So, who's going to share their screen? Is it Logan? Okay, cool. I'll just make you a co-host. And whenever you're ready.
All right, cool. Share the screen and let's get started. Can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So, Vince and myself, we are LVSZ partners, and we are going to talk to you today about our AI and analytics fund. Vince, kick us off, please.
All right. So our investment thesis is that we're looking to target software companies that are at earlier stages of growth. So we're looking at these companies that are in rapidly developing markets and they have strong leadership teams. So, for example, our industry focus is in AI in healthcare, booming industry, advanced analytics with AI, and then energy management systems. And we're looking to do this, preferably it's going to be growing in the US, but really these are going to launch the international scale. So we're a little bit open to geography in that regard if we think it'll complement well. And the round type is from seed stage to Series C stage. And then next.
So we have a little bit of just our company selection. The top three that we got right here. First one is Uncountable. Excuse me. They're an AI data analytics for R&D purposes. Next, we have Arbox. They do solar and wind array management software systems. And then we have Jiva or Jiva.ai. And they do AI in healthcare and more. We will get to them in just a little bit. So, how did we select these companies? We have four basic criteria that would be purpose, functionality, development stage, and market. And for purpose, it's things like, is this company valuable? Is what their service doing? Is it somewhat unique? And also, does it fill any gaps in markets that are, required or that are available to be filled? And then we have the functionality next. We have what does it do? How does it interact with the data that it's processing and also the people who are using it. Next is the development stage. And so it's like, how early is this company? Are they just founding? Like, did they start a month ago and they have no idea what they're doing, or are they fully fledged and ready to go? And then lastly, we have the markets. We're looking at the CAGRs of those industries that are expected to grow very high into the future. And then also the saturation of the market, how many people are involved, how many different companies are making softwares in this instance.
So first, we're going to start with the advanced analytics market. And this industry is what Uncountable uses. So we're going to go through industry and then company just briefly, because technically we're trying to find exactly where all these companies were kind of located in the market. The market size for advanced analytics is $12.1 billion in 2020, but it's estimated to grow up to 75 billion in 2028. And the CAGR is 25.7%. There are so many trends that are moving forward in this regard. Trying to make processes better, the amount of unorganized data, and even the pandemic has impacted things, moving everything towards more advanced analytics. And you can even see in the bottom just more trends about it. Next slide, please. So Uncountable, they offer integrated, they have a software platform that analyzes, it can do bulk data, it can do, a lot of different things. So they really partner with R&D companies. So they do labs, experiments, and that kind of thing. the data that you input, it learns from it historically, and then it's kind of guides where your future, experiments as you input that data is kind of leading. So if you can kind of see this picture on the bottom, this is an example of what they do. They find unique aspects of the data. They color it dark red, lighter red based on your inputs, and then they draw your line for you. Where is the beam? Everything like that, and more beyond that. The revenue was $4 million the last time that we were looking at it. What caught our eye, another thing about it, was it had 26 employees on LinkedIn, so it could be higher or lower, but they had 11 job openings. So they're recruiting, they're looking, quickly for talent, and they've already been recognized from other companies, and they have another strong leadership team. Next slide, please. And the next company that we were also looking at was Arbox. And so the industry for Arbox was, it really fell in the energy management systems. It's another software platform with, and its market size is 52.8 billion. And you can also see the trend kind of, so, you have industrial energy management systems, which is kind of where it falls into place a little bit too, but also, also for, businesses as well. So, energy consumption, renewable energy, more programs are being required for people to monitor their energy consumption. It's growing at 18% CAGR for the software segment, but it's, another very much booming industry. Next slide.
So we've talked about the industry. Let's talk about Arbox a little bit. And what they do, they specialize in asset management software in the solar and wind industry. That's what they claim on their website. Located in beautiful Burnaby, British Columbia, Canada. And as I said, they create the management software for wind and solar arrays. So what they do is they have big data that's collected by these companies, and then their assets would be the solar arrays or the windmills, things of that nature. And then they collect data from that so they can further optimize and reduce things such as, CapEx. You can reduce your CapEx, save time, save money, optimize your business, and it gives you feedback on how to move forward into the future. And something that we liked about Arbox is that it's a recurring type of revenue primarily. You're going to buy the software, and then you got to keep, repurchasing it, the license year after year. And with the value that's going to be created by Arbox's software, we have reason to believe that companies would keep signing up year after year. Then there's also other fees like, employee training and any updates that need to be done to the software over time.
So those are two of our companies. The last company is going to be the ours that specializes in AI in healthcare. And this, I think, is it's in such a great market. And, the CAGR was 41 to 44%, depending on the source. Market size was 4.9 billion in 2020, but it's growing so fast. And we had the pandemic that's been driving AI in healthcare. You have a number of healthcare professionals, nurses that have been on a shortage. According to the WHO, that it was a 4.3 million shortage of workers. Just on so many different fronts, you have AI that's booming in this. The clinical trials, if you see, that blue part of the pie of the circle there, that is a huge aspect of it. And the company we're going to talk about really is great at doing clinical trials here. Next slide, please.
So, sorry about that. As Vince was saying, Jiva is an excellent company when it comes to utilizing AI in healthcare. Right now, they're doing they're doing unbelievable things in the medical industry. For example, they're utilizing their AI software to analyze large amounts of, I believe one of them was broken bones, like specifically your tibias, fibias, just anywhere where there's fractures. They've scanned over, I believe, 50,000 different fractures, and now Jiva is more effective at locating fractures and x-rays than junior doctors are by quite a large margin. So Jiva actually may be used as an analytical tool in the future and a diagnostic tool by doctors to, ease any of their practices. And also that means customers can go to the x-ray facility in the future and then get an instantaneous readout by this analytical software. And something that's interesting about them is even though they started in 2019, they've already raised 1.7 million in seed funding over the course of 3 rounds. So that's great and something to be excited about. And I would also like to talk about our target timeline, like how long we would like this fund to go on for and the companies that we'd like to work with. So year 1, we're just going to assess these companies, negotiate with them, try to figure out how much we can buy them for. And if it's a wholehearted worthy buy, we believe that they are. And then years 2 and 3, it's the company optimization. So that might be changing management structure around. That would be establishing clientele, and then fixing any last minute bugs for some of the software. And even though most of these softwares are already fully fledged and ready for commercialization, it's good to just, iron out the details and make sure everything's working 100%. And then years 4 to 5, we're going to try to increase the market presence for those companies. So promote the hell out of those products, get them into the industry, get them international, and then garner attention from larger corporations so that in years 6 through 7, we have the chance to liquidate and exit, which ideally would like to do an M&A or a merger and acquisition with a larger company. And the reason for that over an IPO is because we believe that it would be better for these smaller software companies to integrate into a larger software company rather than just going public themselves. And let's move on to the investment strategy. So we've got the acquisition, optimization, and liquidation. We've got a lot of issions and ations going on right here. So for the acquisition section, as I said, we assess the firm's financials. We're going to try to, the LBO structure goal, 70% debt, 30% equity with an entry EBITDA multiple of 5 to 7x would be nice for us. We feel as if that would be solid deal structure. Optimization, as we said before, increase the corporate structure, build company clientele, push internationally. And lastly, the liquidation. Prefer M&A, as mentioned before, we'd like an IRR of roughly 20 to 30% by the time the project has concluded, and then they have an EBITDA multiple, exit multiple of 12 to 15x. And lastly, the summary. So AI-focused software, as we've mentioned before, it's destined to change the world of business and society as a whole, which is why we're interested in AI. And specialization and adaptation are what the companies and their softwares demonstrate wholeheartedly. That's definitely true by their business models. And then those companies, just again, Unaccountable, Rbox, and Jiva.ai. And yeah, we're trying to grow these companies today to better assist the businesses of tomorrow. So thank you very much. Any questions?
Nice job, guys.
Thank you, guys.
No questions? Okay. Then we'll, great job. If everyone can give Logan and Vince a round of applause, very detailed. I really like the timeline and whatnot. Okay, on that note, we'll hand it over to Puya and Enrique.
Me and Enrique are not in the same.
Lie.
Yeah.
It's Puya and me, mainly.
Wait, is it me and Enrique?
Enrique's team, because it's like the next sorry, Enrique and Lai, sorry, guys. Because Sosa is second to last name on the alphabet. Okay, cool.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Lai Pham, and my partner is Enrique Sosa, and we are the LNE Investment. And Enrique will start us off with the investment thesis.
Okay, so our investment thesis is that we're a PE fund that is actively seeking investment opportunities for pre-IPO developed fintech companies with high valuations. And we prefer firms that have a good track record with and provide consistent returns with future expected growth. And we're focused on acquiring fintech companies that are able to implement technologies available to a broader target population with fast delivery and more effective distribution of its advanced financial services. Our geographic presence is mainly focused in the US, although our companies offer its services worldwide. More specifically, we're currently investing in companies like ones that develop corporate cards designed to save money for businesses, as Rent does, and one that offers business credit cards and cash management accounts to technology startups, like Brex does, and one that helps company and investors manage their cap tables, valuation, and investment plans, as Carta does. And we are looking for a $28 billion total funding. Next slide. Okay, so the industry outlook is that the fintech industry provides new technology, improving automated delivery and uses of financial services, helping companies, business owners, and independent users to better manage their financial operations, processes, and even lives by using advanced softwares and algorithms. The fintech services ultimately reduce costs for users by optimizing operations in terms of security and fast financial delivery services. And the global fintech market is valued at $5.5 trillion after 2019, before the pandemic. And it is expected to grow at a CAGR of 23.58%. Next slide. Okay. In terms of market opportunities, we find that innovation is becoming present in the fintech industry more than ever, mainly because the fintech industry is being heavily implemented in all worldwide, the banking industry. Some examples are remote uses of bank accounts, cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, investments, stock market trading, etc. The current shift to a remote world, recently boosted by the COVID pandemic, has driven an increase in fintech adoption by large financial institutions all over the world. And there has been an increase in demand for fintech products usage for companies to weather the storm of an economic downturn that happened with the COVID-19 pandemic, with the most effective financial operations. This situation will ultimately provide a heavy increase in the fintech industry growth. And the recent surge in funding and innovation will probably continue over the years after COVID is mitigated from the world, as blockchain technology and fintech usage continues to grow and be more acceptable in institutional usage. Also, AI is becoming heavily implemented in the fintech industry by providing personalized wealth management, automated customer support, fraud detection, etc., for both individual and institutional users. Now Lai is going to talk a little bit more about the 3 potential companies for investment that we have.
As Enrique mentioned, the 3 companies that we're potentially invest in are Brex, Carta, and Ramp. With Brex, they emphasize as an all-in-one finance, including a deposit account, credit card, and money management software. They're mainly for startup companies with little to no capital. And so there's 0 fees with no account or transaction fee. They have unlimited ACH and wires globally with no minimum required for their account. Currently, they have a total funding of $1.2 billion and part of their Series D. Their annual revenue is $78 million with around 130,000 per employee. And they're currently backed by Y Combinator and DST Global. With Carta, as mentioned, they digitalize stock certificate and manage warrants, options, and other stocks. And with managing valuation. Since it's all digitalized, they have AI that looks at the portfolio investment and makes suggestions and changes that are like duplicates or fraud heavy. Their total funding is 400 million and they're part of the Series E. Their annual revenue is 132 million, which is slightly higher than Brex, but their revenue is similar with 130,000 per employee. And they're currently backed by Union Square Ventures and Kima Ventures. With Ramp, it's more focused on corporate credit card and management platform. Not only do they have physical cards, but they have virtual cards as well. They have controls and approvals for the manager, making it easy to both create an account and remove an account. There's also automation integration with the platforms, including Slack and PayPal. Their total funding is 310 million, and they are part of the Series B. Their revenue is 21 million, but their revenue per employee is 250,000 per employee, which is double that of Brex and another. And they are backed by Goldman Sachs and Stripe. And then Enrique will go on about the fintech.
So the future of the fintech industry looks very, very bright. Over the last decade, investing into fintech companies has become more popular than ever for both VC and PE funds. Fintech has essentially become the way of basically innovating in today's world economy. For companies and everyone having noticed that they must be a part of it to not be left behind. The fintech industry has found different essential ways of innovating to be strongly present for 2021 and years to come. For example, like contactless payment, becoming the new payment model, blockchain technology for a more secure way of doing transactions, and cryptocurrency acceptance by financial institutions. As seen in the graph below, the younger populations are certainly using a lot of fintech, basically the most. Although older generations are starting to catch up and join the movement in larger numbers. Next. So the pandemic was a great test for all financial businesses to understand that they need to have a proper implementation of fintech in their companies in order to stay competitive with the market, especially with how the pandemic affected the global economies. The fintech industry grew exponentially and noticed the global importance of digitalization and technology advances. The industry needs to be fast and innovative, learning from the catastrophes from the past year, and still also being able to implement new innovative changes to the businesses around the world in order to catch up with other institutions. As shown in the graph, there was an overall increase in fintech usage after the COVID-19 pandemic hit the world. Next slide. So there are several reasons why the fintech industry will outperform in future years and continue to grow. Institutions need fintech in order to have a proper recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic downturn, allowing banks to come out of the pandemic even more effective digital first operating models. The pandemic will also have a large impact focusing on making remote or digital solutions more accessible and inclusive to a broader amount of customers. Also, fintech promotes operational efficiency, including agility, eliminating underperforming workflows, and reinventing business models. Another big thing with fintech is blockchain technology, which enables ultra-secure payments and transactions while eliminating any intermediaries with significantly reduced costs. The inclusion of robotic processes, automation, and AI to automate a variety of tasks like ID verification, fraud detection, and even simpler regulatory compliance things that sometimes the fintech innovation is largely including in institutional operations. There is customer intelligence to predicting revenue for companies. And finally, the worldwide acceptance, which is constantly growing, allowing companies to innovate and better their operations, which will ultimately translate in better financial results. As you can see, the global fintech revenue has been increasing throughout the years and is expected to continuously grow in future years. Okay, so in conclusion, the fintech industry is a highly innovative one that is upward trending worldwide. The companies we invest in are only ones with great track record and revenues that are currently in their pre-IPO stage and are expected to continuously grow. We believe the three companies are in the right track to becoming global leaders in the industry and offering products to better the process of worldwide financial institutions. The fintech industry is changing the world and here to stay and develop with lots of room to grow. And finally, there has been a trending worldwide acceptance by global population, making it a unique investment opportunity with a relatively low investment risk that you wouldn't want to miss out. Thanks. That's it.
Awesome. Let's, any questions? Okay, round of applause, guys. Great job. Next up, Luke and Persia. Whose screen are we sharing? Sorry, guys, for the background noise. I have some, I don't know why the construction guys showed up today, but my apologies on that. Whose screen are we sharing? Luke? Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Persia.
I'm Luke.
And our PE fund is all about investing in health. Woo. So this is just an overview of our whole presentation, everything from our investment summary to our conclusion. So to start off, we are investing in companies that strive to fuel bodies with clean and healthy ingredients. We are choosing companies that emphasize healthy living through implementing better products and food, and they focus, and the overall focus of our fund is more developed companies, and we're going to facilitate strategic growth in the long term. So this is the purpose of our company. So there's an increase of the importance of health due to the rising numbers of obesity and diabetes within the United States, due to poor food production and high fast food accessibility. Through this fund, we will be investing in companies and promoting them, obviously, because they believe in taking control of what you put in your body through clean nutrition. This is the industry outlook. So the total available market is 4.5 trillion, and that's overarching health and wellness. And then the SAM is 702 billion. So it's health, eating, nutrition, and weight loss. Our industry compound annual growth is 6%. And geographically, it's obviously domestic right now, our three companies, and we plan to expand them internationally. And the overall life cycle of our industry is growing.
So within our market, there's two big opportunities. As previously mentioned a little bit, there's with nutrition, which health is wealth, and it will never go out of style. I also relate that back to people are always going to be eating, and with kind of this growing awareness of nutrition and how it affects our lives, I think we're going to see a big growth in that. is valued at 151.8 billion, and the potential growth is 8.6%. And the other side would be weight management, which also kind of comes with that increased awareness, as people are being more aware of their weight and their health because they kind of do interact parallelly. And so the diet industry is growing exponentially as obesity increases and the body image of individuals is becoming more popular. This is valued at 192.2 billion with a potential growth of 7%. And so this is a little bit of the breakdown of the market. So as you can see, healthy eating and nutrition and weight loss is the third highest. And I relate this back to everyone eats. So this market, we're gonna see it continue to grow as people's awareness grows, but also as the population grows. And so just having that large market scale is very important. And so our three companies are Orgain, which is a vegan protein powder. Go Macro is a minimalistic ingredient bar. And Trifecta is an organic meal delivery service where they do everything from planning your meals for you, shopping, cooking, and then they deliver ready to eat meals. So Orgain, their mission statement is the power of good. Clean nutrition can help you live a healthy, vibrant life. Their products include shakes, meal replacements, and powders. And something I found really interesting is that within this shake, they're low carbs. And I think that's a really smart move because it can target those that are trying to lose weight, but it can also target those that are trying to gain weight because you can just add like peanut butter, oats, things with high carbs to that. So you get both of the sides. And they're trying to maximize nutrition and good taste, which you don't find a lot in protein powders. They usually taste like crap. So being able to have a good taste increases the marketability. And it was developed by Dr. Andrew Abraham. He was a cancer survivor and he proclaims himself as a kitchen chemist. So the revenue is 400 million, has a worth of 2 billion. And Butterfly, they hold the majority stake. However, minority stake in this company will help to facilitate growth in this growing industry. Our next one is Go Macro. The mission statement is balance for ourselves and nutrition and nature. So the highlights, 5 principles is to live long, eat positive, give back, tread lightly, and be well. So their products are mostly these macro bars. They have kind of ones for adults, so then they go down to the kids, which is another opportunity to expand the market. And it was developed by a mother and daughter. The mother had breast cancer. She survived, and she gives a lot of her credit to her survival off of her diet. She had a macrobiotic diet, which is a plant-based diet. And through that it's one of the most impactful diets for our health. It lowers the risk of disease because a lot of it comes from an increase in oxygen diffusion through the blood, which comes from a lot of these natural oils from sunflower seeds, different nuts. And it also is a targeted weight loss bar because of this macrobiotic diet. You have very low carbs and very high proteins and good healthy fats. Their revenue is 17.6 million and they just have 65 employees. So think about just expanding that employee number. You can just shoot for the stars. Our last one is Trifecta. So Trifecta, their mission statement is remove the possibility for diet failure by delivering fresh, healthy meals directly to your door. 3 areas of health are mind, body, and social. They state that you can't thrive in one area without thriving in another. Their products are fully prepared, ready to eat meals. What I really liked about this company is that they have a lot of options. And nowadays, everyone loves options with all the different types of diets that they have. And what I also liked, aside from the options, is that this company is very flexible with you. So a lot of meal prep companies, you kind of sign up and you get locked in. With Trifecta, you can skip a week if you like. You can pay for 2 months if you like. They're very flexible and they really make the customers the priority. But they also make the earth the priority. So they have a lot of green sources. All their packaging is green. They have a low carbon footprint because they have a They cut down the 5-step production process, which is typical for grocery stores. They cut it down to 3 steps. So being able to target being green, the customer approach, and also all these options really helps them stand out. And their revenue is 35.9 million, and they have 3 partners, and an investment will just continue to help facilitate an exponential growth.
So this is just our overall business model, because this is like a long-term fund. And so as we choose companies over time, it's just like the same model. So we will research and choose the companies to invest in that follow our guidelines. We'll assess their financials and the potential for growth, have them expand first domestically and then internationally once we dominate the market. And then with exiting from the company is after they declare an IPO and reach a good EBITDA multiple of 10x. And then this is just our investment strategy. So it's very similar. It's target, evolve, and expand. And then all in all, LMP Limited invests solely in companies that are striving for fueling our bodies with clean and healthy ingredients. There's so much potential. There's a plethora of companies on the rise in the food industry to truly help individuals implement better products and food. And Orgain, Go Macro, and Trifecta are just perfect examples of those companies that have that advantage and stand out and are doing well that aren't already declared IPOs. And then with the market, we'll be able to leverage debt, since the more debt you put in, the greater the profitability. And with the scale of the food sector, it's so large, we will be able to upsize and see stable returns, especially since the market of younger individuals, because of social media and other media sources, becoming more health conscious, and it's just growing rapidly. So yeah, thank you. And then our sources.
Awesome. Thanks for the sources. Great job, Persia and Luke. Well done. Any questions? LP.
I do have a question.
Oh, nice.
Did you guys consider, I know Orgain, they make a supplemental protein, but did you guys consider any supplement companies? So such as like Symbiotica, or I'm just, naming some bigger names. So Symbiotica, or what's the other one I'm trying to think of? Like Onnit, Joe Rogan's supplement company, or something similar to that?
We
Are you focusing primarily on food? Sorry.
We did talk about supplements as well, because that is a very big market within the health industry, is like vitamins and whatnot. However, like the ones that we were looking up were already like acquired, like the larger ones. So that's why we didn't choose them. But it's definitely something we would look into. Like these are just the 3 hypothetical companies that we were interested in.
And I will point out too, with supplements, I've seen that they don't have as high as a growth potential, because there's a lot of studies that are actually coming out that a lot of supplements are not as good as we think. And a lot of these big brand supplements tend to use a lot of fillers, which just impacts your health more negatively than it does positively. So we felt that these kind of more aligned with the growth of health consciousness and health awareness.
Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions? Okay, great job, guys. Puya, Ahmad, you guys are up. Last but not least.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, wrong begin. Hey guys, my name is Puya. Me and my friend Ahmad are owner and founders of PNA Limited Partners. So we basically are a VC firm that we invest in early stage companies that have high growth potential. And these companies that we invest in, they're relatively new to traditional investors, and they probably don't know about them. So as I told you, the companies have such a great potential to have exponential growth and they can make a big difference in their industries. PNA basically invests in blockchain technology, healthcare, and cybersecurity. But you have to know that our primary focus is in blockchain. So we contribute maybe more than 75% of our resources to blockchain. And we also target companies that are in early stage and basically in seed or round A fundings. And we only invest maximum amount of 10 million for each company. Before we go over the industries and company, I want to say why you have to consider us rather than other VC firm or PE firms. So the important thing for me is honesty. And if I want to really honest with you, we only invest in companies that we fully understand. So we know their business plan, we know their strategies, we know the market, we know their ideas, their potentials, and basically we don't invest in companies that we don't have enough information about. And also the partners invest their personal fund in all venture investments. So we are with you guys. If you get a profit, we get the profit. And if you lose money, we lose money too. So you can completely trust us. And another thing is that we communicate and consult with our LPs and investors in every stage, especially after investment. So if you have any opinion, any consideration, we are open to consider that, and we apply your opinions in our investment decisions. And last but not least, PNA only targets innovation that are going to actually make a change in the world. So basically, we are more about blockchain, and we know that it's gonna somehow change the world. And so as I told you, our main focus is in blockchain. Some of you may not understand fully what blockchain is. I want to be as simple as I can. So blockchain is basically a system for recording information. And when it's just recording information, so it makes blockchain a database that it restores the information and secure them. But it do that, the restoring of information, in a very particular and innovative way that it differentiates that from any other system, any other platform in the world. So one of the main advantage of blockchain is that it's almost impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. So for example, if you want to trust blockchain with your transactions and financial, you're 100% sure that no one can steal your money, no one can cheat you, hack you, or anything else. And however, other systems that currently the world are using, all of them are hackable, cheatable, and there is always flaws in the system. Another important feature that I think it's gonna actually change the world is that the blockchain is decentralized. And this means no country, no government, no community, no one have the actual control over the system. So it's just the users that have the control in the system. Imagine, for example, if you want to transfer the money, there is no limitation, there is no paperwork, no one can cheat you, and no one can put some policy, money policy, monetary policy, nothing. So it's just the users that actually own the system. As you know, one of the main uses for blockchain is money transfer. And I think all of you know Bitcoin. But you have to understand that transferring money is just one of the features of blockchain, and blockchain is much a bigger idea. So imagine, consider blockchain as an LAX airport, and Bitcoin is just a plane that lands in that airport. So that's how big that's how blockchain is big. And there are, as I told you, there are a lot of uses for that, but we're gonna invest in companies that particularly utilize these three other uses. So the most important one is smart contracts. And if I want to like simply explain that, imagine you want to buy a house, let's say abroad. Let's say you want to buy a house in Argentina. And so when you want to buy the house, you have to meet the owner, make sure that he's trustable, make sure that he's not going to cheat you. There is a lot of paperwork, a lot of government regulation. The owner can cheat you. The money transferring can be a problem, the exchange rate. But with blockchain, you will have a smart contract that the transferring of the title and transferring of the money happens at the same time, like buying from Amazon with one click. So it's such a big idea that it's gonna change the future of the world. And this example is just a simple example of it. Any transaction, any contract in the world, it's gonna be based on blockchain in few years. So imagine, let's say maybe 30 years ago, if someone told you that internet, it's not going to be a thing. And so the world doesn't need internet, but now we know that we cannot live without internet. And blockchain, 30 years from now, it's gonna be something like that. So there are a lot of other uses like oracles. Oracles just simply link the data from outside the network to the network. There are DApps, the decentralized apps using blockchain, and they are very famous, very popular in gaming, and many uses. So, but we're gonna focus mainly on the smart contracts, and I will introduce you an amazing company. But before that, I want to just give you some basic information about the industry. So the market size currently is $5.88 billion. The market, it's expected to grow 82.4% from 2021 to 2028. This is yearly. So it's a significant growth rate considering and comparing to any other industry. The market size going to be $394.6 billion by year 2028. And as I told you, our main focus is going to be on smart contracts. So let's have an example of a company that we're gonna invest in our firm, and they particularly provides a framework for programming smart contracts. And the name of the company, as you see, is Agoric. They basically develop the smart contracts for many uses. They use many innovative protocols. There are like these protocols, ERTP, CAPTP, IBC. It's like very professional. So I don't want to like explain too much about them, but there are such a professional protocols, and they get to amazing endpoints. But the important thing that you have to know about this company is that they are developing many smart contracts that it's gonna help the financial industry significantly in future. Let's go over their financials. So they already have a fundraising of $4 million. By the way, they just established the company in 2018. The number of investors for the first fundraising was 11% with one lead investor. Their current number of employees are 17 people, and they have such an amazing team that I can say this company gonna rock the world, because they have professionals in engineering, in software developing, and in blockchain developing, and they are really experienced professionals. I see them. I'm pretty sure that they are very knowledgeable. They know what they're doing. And we expect that the company gonna grow annually 82%. And this is just our base guess. So if you want to know the our optimistic guess, it would be something amazing you can't believe. But anyway, the latest innovation is smart contracts that span multiple blockchain, not just one blockchain, multiple blockchains. So this is the first time I see a company, maybe there are other companies, but this is the first time I actually see a companies are practically do that. Anyway, this is all of my information about blockchain. There are other two industries that Ahmed is gonna present. There are amazing opportunities for those of you who have like lower risk, and I will, Ahmed, begin.
Thank you, Puya. Hi, guys. So our second industry will be in the healthcare. So we picked this our industry carefully and in meditative manner, because we expect these three industries has potential and significant growth rate in the future. So healthcare is necessary for human being. From that point, we think investing in this field will be disruptive, innovative, in disruptive, innovative company will be smart move. So we emphasize in smart healthcare market or artificial intelligence, AI, and social media, and where we could use some application to facilitate healthcare administration. So you see here in this slide, healthcare industry segments, which include healthcare and analytics, healthcare industry, administrative management service, contract service, and marketing. Next slide, please. So this slide shows you smart healthcare market, which is our emphasis. So you can see the market size, which is 345.59 billion, and compound annual growth rate will be 10.28. And smart healthcare segments involved with product type, application, and end user. You can see on the side, the graphs show global smart healthcare all over the world. You can see in the light blue in the bottom, North America growth rate, which is 10.28, and the other parts of the world in different colors. Next slide, please. So this is our company we picked, which is Turquoise Health Company. This is a small startup company which got seeds money, 5 million. This company has set up application database, which simplifies administration to reduce expenses and complexity of healthcare. And also they have price transparency, and this is a very good service for patients, because you can compare different service and prices in database. So nobody know until now, nobody knows how much will cost you to go to certain hospital for certain clinic for certain procedure. So this database is basically reports competitive pricing, which one step closer to consumer empowerment. So consumer is giving more power to shop around. And also, the most important point here, most recently in 2020, the government have made this rule that all hospital and service providers should report their pricing for different procedure they offer in a machine readable format. So this is how this company came up with this innovative idea, which bring all the service and service provider and customer together in one platform. So now both customer and like service provider pay some fees and become member of this database platform, and also service provider can advertise their pricing and their different like services and procedure. This is like some of the business model here. Next slide, please. This is our like second industry investment, which is like investing in IT, but we focus here in cybersecurity. So you can see here cybersecurity segment, which is network security, user and endpoint protection, cloud edge, and application security. Next slide, please. This slide show you the cybersecurity market size, which is 149.67 billion, and it has compound annual growth rates 9.4%, and cybersecurity network segments segmented in like virtual local area network, firewalls, software-defined network, and micro-segmented networks. And you can see the graph on the side show different segments like identity and access management, infrastructure security, governance, risk and compliance, and so other things. Next slide, please. Okay, this is our company we picked for the cybersecurity, which is GuardDog AI. This company has 1.4 million raised up. So this company came up with application or device which simply hooks up with your like network or through your computer or your iPhone. So this device run like AI or machine learning in the background, which has database or cloud base. So this device basically in the back end is go by AI machine learning, which provides cybersecurity. It can like scanning your network to make sure it's like secured and not like hacked or like under attack. So it does not need like complicated cybersecurity equipment. It just like device hooks up with your network and you are ready to go. This is like the business model, and we believe it's like innovative concept. So we hope to see you guys like invest in our companies and get this together in the future. And now I will pass it to Poya if you want to define or add anything.
Yeah, so that's our presentation, guys. If you have any question or any concern, just ask us.
Great job, guys. Very detailed. And thanks for the references. Great. So if there's no questions for Puya and Ahmad, this pretty much wraps up Business 636. Thank you for taking this class. I think everyone's done a phenomenal job, and hope you guys learned a lot. The exam should be posted Monday evening, probably around 6 o'clock. You'll have 5 days to complete it, very similar to the midterm. I will have a review session earlier that day. I'll post the hour later today, and then I'll also post the directions that you need to follow for the investment commitment paper. But other than that, yeah, I'll stick around a couple minutes for any questions. But well done, guys, and I congratulate you guys for completing this class during such a, I guess, an unfavorable time period. So round of applause for everyone.
Thank you.
Great. Awesome. Then I guess I'll see most of you guys on, or some of you guys on Monday, if anything.
All right, Professor. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Logan.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Bye.
Thank you.
Later.
Thank you, Professor, for this interesting class.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just one question. So basically, when I want to like write the RAS report, can I like write it as an individual investor?
You're supposed to write it as an individual investor.
Yeah, so
like angel
not, like,
investor
for any other company. I'm just working for myself. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do it like that. Yeah,
idea.
angel investor. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Professor, how long should it be? Like 1 page?
No more than 2 pages max. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As long as your reasoning and rationale is strong, you should be able to get it even in 1 page. There's no reason to make it like 5 pages long or anything like that. So I'll put like a 2-page max limit.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.